Greetings and welcome to the July edition of The Place to Be, Oshkosh. I'm your host, John Neiman. I'm so glad that you could be with us. I know you're all asking the same question that I am, and it's like, where did the month of June go? I hope July will slow down a little for all of us so we can enjoy everything that's going on. As I always do, I begin by thanking our sponsors. I want to thank Karen and the staff at the Oshkosh Herald, who are our major show sponsor. We really appreciate their support with our show. And if you need to know what's going on in our community, whether it's pictures or news, go to the Oshkosh Herald. Also, our set design, and today it's proudly patriotic for the month of July, is Brian at U Bloom on Witzel. If you've not been to Brian's shop yet, you have to go. He has a garden center outside, but he has a shop. He has clothes, he has candy, he has live plants, he has artificial, he has everything, and Brian's very creative. So thank you very much, Brian. Where can you see us? Thank you. Our staff is always on top of it. Thank you very much, crew. We're on Life TV on Spectrum. You also can search Oshkosh Media on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and YouTube. And very exciting because this is the third year of our program, The Place to Be Oshkosh. I'm starting with some props. I don't want to mess my hair up, but I will. I will for this. I was at a Rotary meeting, and I spoke about our care team, the downtown care team, and a Rotary member came up to me who happens to work for Imprint and said, we need to do something for you guys. So thank you to 4 Imprint, who made us very visible hats so we don't get hit by cars as we're picking up all the stuff. But they also made us winter hats because, yes, we also go out in fall and in winter when the weather is acceptable for us to go out, and we clean up downtown. So the care team is a joint effort with the State Street Center and the Oshkosh Downtown Bid District. And we go downtown, we go to the Sundial, we go to the Leach Amphitheater, we walk down to the 600 block, we go by the library every Monday and Friday from 8 till 9. So if you want something to do, you want some exercise and some fellowship, please join us as we do our downtown care team. Now I have some really exciting news to share. We won. This show, The Place to Be Oshkosh, was in the Best of the Midwest Media Fest contest. And it happened this past spring. And this show right here won the Award of Excellence for Best Amateur Talk Show. I am just simply thrilled about this. We have great guests, and I'm glad that everybody's watching our show and getting to learn a little more about Oshkosh and all the activities. There were 179 entries. And this show right here won this award. But we're a double winner because, as you know, we also host the Oshkosh 4th of July Parade, and our show also won an award of excellence for the parade. So we're very, very proud of this. A lot of the credit goes to our team here at Oshkosh Media, who do everything for us, makes us look good, and I'm very, very proud of this. It's a lot of work. I've been on the air here about 20 years at Oshkosh Media, and to be a double award winner, I take this like my Oscar, except there's no acceptance speech. So, also let's talk about the 4th of July, which is coming up pretty soon. Oshkosh Media is covering the parade. It's 9 o'clock downtown. And then you can go to Menominee Park for the activities going on there. We also have fireworks by Festival Foods at dusk. Also, what's going on in our community in July? Life Fest will be going on July 11th through 14th. EAA is July 22nd through the 28th. And then, believe it or not, the Winnebago County Fair starts the 31st of July. So there's plenty of activities for you to enjoy in our wonderful community called Oshkosh. Stay tuned. We'll be back for our second segment of our July edition of The Place to Be Oshkosh. Welcome back to our second segment of our July edition of The Place to Be Oshkosh. If my guests look familiar to you, is because they were also guests for the first time last year, and they're here to talk about their group, but also a very special and meaningful event that they sponsor. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, where they're from, what they do. Nicole?
Hi, I'm Nicole Spangenberg. I am part of the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association Auxiliary, and I am the chapter executive officer for the auxiliary.
I am Brandon Kronberg. I am part of the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association. I am a full patch member, and I am the road captain.
So, if people are tuning in who probably maybe didn't see us last year, they should have. What is your group about? Why was your group formed, and what's its purpose?
Our group was formed to raise money and to help veterans in the local veteran community, in our community. We are a nationwide veterans organization, and so our motto is vets helping vets, and so every dollar that we raise, we give it back to the veteran community.
Okay. So, how did Nicole get to be a member of this group? Do you have different categories of which people can be part of?
Yes, we do. So we have full patch members, which you have to have combat experience. So you have had to deploy to a combat zone, which will be verified through your DD-214. And then you have auxiliary member, and the requirement for that is to be married to someone who has combat experience. So you have to be the spouse of that service member. And then we have support members who don't have combat experience but have served in the military.
Okay. So what made you, both of you, want to get involved with this group? Nicole, we'll start with you.
Well, my husband was going through some mental health struggles. We had a couple of years where some pretty terrible things happened, and he was really looking for a place and a purpose. And so through riding the motorcycle, we happened across one of the rides that the CVMA was putting on, and we joined them to kind of see what it was all about. And we ended up both really enjoying ourselves, having a great time, and thinking, like, this is our group of people. This is where we want to be. This is going to help us move forward. And so he first patched in as the full member with his combat experience and his motorcycle license.
So what is that? Is there a ceremony, or, because you said that the patched in?
There is.
What is it?
We get, we have a couple of the chapter officers will get up and they'll explain what the patch is about, and then we basically essentially swear in saying that we will uphold the patch and respect it, treat it with honor, and basically that we've earned it.
So is that the patch?
No, the patch is on the back of my shirt here.
Oh.
Would you like me to turn around and show the camera?
I know, if we can get that microphone back on, sure. So you wear the patch on, and what does the patch symbolize? Or is it the letters of the group, or what is it?
So it's a skull and a spade,
Okay.
and it says Combat Vets Association.
Okay, so it's on your flyer.
It is on the flyer.
So, thank you, crew.
Perfect, yeah.
So, okay, so that's the patch that and so that's earned to be part of the group.
Yes.
So as long as it's up right now, let's talk about this special event, which I know is coming up in September, but we need to get the word out as soon as possible, because July and August go by so quickly and everybody plans everything. The kids go back to school, yay, in September, and then there's more events going on. So let's talk about this awareness ride. How many years has this been going on?
This is going to be year 3 of the Veteran Suicide Awareness Ride. So we started in 2022 with honoring Sergeant Matthew Spangenberg, who is my brother-in-law. He passed away from suicide in 2020. And so my husband really wanted to honor him by putting something together. So we put together a ride.
So is this your ride that you guys came up with, or does all the groups do this?
This is our chapter's ride. So we're part of Chapter 45-3,
Okay.
which is out of the Fox Cities area. And this is something that we created and organized specifically for our chapter to be able to share with the community.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of work.
A lot of work. Yes, we spend a lot of time putting everything together. This isn't like any other ride, which is where we really pride ourselves. What we like to do is get as many people together as we can, but we also invite veteran organizations to the main stop at our ride so that we can provide community resources for anybody who may be struggling, whether it be an individual or family members. So we have lots of different veterans organizations coming to the ride, like Prevent Suicide Fox Cities is coming this year, Fox Valley Veterans Council, Mission 22, Balance Veterans Network, and Houses of Honor are all confirmed already, and we have reached out to many, many more. But the other special thing about this ride is that we are choosing an individual every year to honor. And so we started with my brother-in-law, Matt, and then last year we honored Senior Airman Chad Shulak and his family. This year we're going to be honoring Austin Millard and his family. And so, and there's Chad up from last year. So what we do also at this ceremony is we put together a video with interviews of the family members or friends or people who have served with the individual who has passed. And we play that for everybody to see, and so that they can hear the stories and hear the heartache. So it really rings true to what's going on that people don't always talk about. And then during that ceremony as well, we present the family with a shadow box in remembrance of their fallen loved one. And we also place a stone at the High Ground Veterans Memorial in honor of the people that we're honoring each year as well.
And when I read your notes about this and I saw the pictures and followed it, so your notes say that 22 veterans lose their lives by suicide. Is that
every day?
Every day.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's just astounding.
Yes.
You know, because they've done, well, and you've done so much for our country, and then to not have the resources or the help, or maybe you do, but you just can't utilize them at that time. It's sad.
Mm-hmm.
The great thing about the ride is you're offering the resources.
Yes. Yep, we are offering the resources, and we're also we're kind of building a family through doing this too, because every year the families are coming back who we've honored the previous years, and we're trying to help build a support network for them to be able to call on each other if they need something.
Which I think is good, because like some places have like love lights for cancer victims and all of that. And like you did say, even though maybe they participated 1 year, you wouldn't think they would come back, but they come back because it's their family. Mm-hmm. So how do you choose who is being honored?
Unfortunately, it's not very difficult to come up with a candidate. And so on the past 3 years, we've really just kind of started in the pool of people that we know, and we're just working forward from there. But within our community, everybody knows somebody. So
how do the families feel when you approach them and tell them that their loved one was chosen?
It's a lot. It's very emotional. And I think one of the biggest things in choosing a family is we do need to have a family who's going to be open about everything and willing to share. And that's not easy to do. So when we do find a family who is also willing to share these stories and talk about it, it's wonderful because we can get their story out there. But the whole process is very emotional. It's emotional for the people planning the ride. It's emotional for our webmaster who creates the beautiful videos to be able to present, because he has to go over footage over and over again. And it's emotional for the family as well. So we just try to be there to support everybody through the whole process. And then on the day of, we all come together as one big family to be able to celebrate the individual that we're honoring.
Well, you mentioned that it was your brother-in-law was the recipient. How fresh was that? His death, and then how much later was he honored?
It was 2 years.
Still, and that's still a lot right away. You know, 2 years is a lot.
Yes.
Wow.
But we want to get the word out there, and we want to talk about it. So, which
I think is great. I think the whole idea of the event is great. So how can people participate if they're not military? Or can people participate in doing the vehicles, I take it?
Yes, absolutely. So
if you're like me and don't have a motorcycle,
show up in a car.
Show up in a car.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we would love to have you.
And then you drive.
Yep. So we'll have a route, which I'm in the process of planning right now.
Okay.
And we'll make a couple of different stops, and then our final stop will be where we have the ceremony at, and that's where a lot of our vendors will be. That'll have some of those programs that people can look into.
So how long is the route usually, or are you just surprising us?
Just surprising you right now because it's a work in progress.
Okay.
So, but if I had to guess, probably a total of an hour and a half, and that's in total from start to finish with breaks in between.
That's pretty good then.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And where's the ending spot this year?
Scotty's Pub in Kaukauna. It's the old Starlight Club for anybody who might not be familiar with the new name. But he just took over and is working on building his business, so we figured we'd partner with him and help him out as well while we have a great location to be able to hold our event.
Okay.
So.
Very cool. So what else do you want to talk about with this event? You've already talked about support will be there for groups. Is the event making money just through the riders? Is that the main way of you're making money through this, is the people paying if they're riding the motorcycle or being a passenger or being in the car?
Yes, so we have the registration fee, but we are also selling some swag. So we have t-shirts, which I'm wearing one now, and then we have pins too that we'll be selling, little support ribbon pins.
So are those the colors to recognize suicide, or are those?
Yes.
They are?
Yep, suicide and mental health.
Mental health together.
Correct.
Yep. I've never seen them together, and that's really cool.
Yeah, and then more specifically, the digital camo represents service members, so you're military.
Yeah, so we will have some items for sale. There will also be basket raffles, so some raffle items for people to put some tickets in for and win something cool while also supporting a great cause. And then all of the funds that we receive will be donated to a veterans charity, a mental health charity at the end, which is yet to be decided.
Okay. So you really are combining a couple things, because mental health and then suicide awareness. So, and a lot of people, sometimes they don't put those two together. And I think that's great that you guys are doing that and putting it together. And I also think it's great that you're honoring the military. Because when I do the 4th of July parade every year as the commentator, I really get sad, because you watch every year there's less and less veterans in the parade. You know, I know they're getting older, or other things are happening to them, and these are the people that we should be saluting and that we should be honoring, because we're celebrating all our freedoms because of them.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate that very much. This is really cool. What else do you want to talk about?
Oh, goodness.
Your role. Let's talk about your role.
Let's talk about my role.
What's a road captain?
My job is the overall safety of the ride, as well as planning routes whenever we have rides. I have the authority during a ride, if I see someone who has a bike that is not in good condition, that I can tell them to not ride with the main group. We still want them at the event, but they can't ride with the main group. Okay. So just general safety of the ride is my job. And then I lead it.
Oh.
So, and I also plan, so we also have what are called road guards. So I plan where we need our road guards to go out at. Those are the riders who will help me block traffic so that we don't have to stop. The ride just keeps moving.
Okay.
Because otherwise you create a really large accordion effect.
I bet.
So,
And it can get dangerous very quickly. So.
Yes.
So do you have to have a motorcycle to be part of the group?
Yes, you do.
You do?
Yep, it has to be.
That's a good point. Okay.
Yep, it has to be 500 cc's or more.
Okay.
So it does not matter what you ride. It doesn't have to be a Harley. It doesn't have to be an Indian. We have a couple of guys who ride sports bikes.
Oh.
So yep, it does not matter, as long as it's 500 cc's or more. You can join the group, and also as long as you have combat experience.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So how do people find out about your group and joining it?
You can Google Wisconsin CVMA 45-3, and then our website will pop up, and you can click on the website. And from there, if you decided that you wanted to donate to the organization, you can, because we are a nonprofit. And then if you are interested in joining, you can fill out the application and get in touch with someone.
Is the auxiliary thriving too? Is it as big with the spouses?
We are one of 2 auxiliary chapters in the state of Wisconsin. So our chapter is lucky enough to have an auxiliary chapter itself. And I believe we just had another one join. I think we're at 18 or 19.
Oh, cool.
Which is fairly large in comparison to other chapters that we have. So we have Yeah, we have lots of participation in our auxiliary, which is wonderful to see, and we're just trying to create that bond between all of us that we share.
So do you guys go out to other places and talk about what you do? Like, do you go to organizations, or are you in parades?
We've done a couple of parades in the past, not just our chapter specifically, but like I know we had there was a parade, I believe it was last year, for Milwaukee. We went down into Milwaukee. We had to invite to that. Those who could make it made it. It was kind of a cold day, if I remember. Actually, it was the Veterans Day parade. That's what it was. Yep.
Oh, how very, very cool to do that.
In our chapter, we participate in the Memorial Day ceremony up in Green Bay. I can't remember the name of the... I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but we do the rifle squad for that.
Yeah, the 21-gun salute.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So, I did the commentary for the 4th of July parade. So, one year if you guys were like riding by in the 4th of July parade, I could talk about you. It would be all would be all good. But I think it'd be, especially to see motorcycles.
Yeah.
I bet you the kids would love it, because we don't have, at this point, we only have the can't think of the name of those little guys who ride the scooters for the hospitals. Where that, you guys would knock them off the road, so that would be good. But I think what's cool about this, let's give the date again. So the date is September 7th. Is that a Saturday?
It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. So that's the day of the ride. Thank you. The poster's up there again. What do you want to stress about this?
Our starting point is the Wrightstown American Legion.
Okay.
So registration is from 10 a.m. until 11:45. At that point, Crash Bar here will give a safety briefing before everybody gets ready to roll. We'll be rolling out at noon. Cost is $20 per rider, $10 per passenger, and all vehicles are welcome, so you don't have to be part of the CVMA to join us. We encourage the community to join, whether it be on a motorcycle or a trike or a car, truck, whatever wheels you have. We'd love for everybody to come and join us for this. It's a very one-of-a-kind event, and we're looking forward to sharing it with the community.
And if people don't want to ride that day, they can still go online and donate.
Absolutely.
Okay, so they could donate funds for that.
And if they don't want to go out riding, but they're able to meet us at our last stop later in the day for the videos and the ceremony and presentation to the family, they can do that as well. They could just meet us at Scotty's Pub.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think what about this too, because I'm looking at September 7th, it's very close to September 11th, which was a traumatic event in our country. This would be such a great opportunity to honor everyone, especially there were a lot of personnel and veterans who helped out with 9/11 and lost their lives. Mm-hmm. I just think the mood that you're setting with this is so great, because you're taking the stigma off of suicide and the stigma off of mental health. Mm-hmm. And you're making people aware of it, and you're helping the families. I can see how this can only help families to meet other people who are going through the same thing that they went through. Mm-hmm. But now I have to ask, because you all have nicknames?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, so Crash Bar. My mind is... yeah.
You're probably not wrong.
Okay.
So I got mine... the chapter voted on it, and after I had, so prior to this, my road name was Crowbar, and I actually ended up getting into a motorcycle accident. I T-boned a backhoe. It was, and I walked away though. Walked away.
Gosh.
Yep, walked away. And when everybody found out about it at the very next meeting, they all voted to change my name to Crash Bar, which is a play on words. It's got the first letter of my last name, and then we have crash protection on motorcycles, which are called crash bars. So,
okay, that's really, really fitting, and that story is like scary.
Yeah.
Wow.
His story is way better than mine.
Okay, and I think I remember you talking about this to me once, but let's go through yours. What's yours?
I'm Bubbles. So, long story short, I'm prone to injuring myself after having surgeries. And so the name change came about when I was finally recovered from my first foot surgery, and the day before we left for our state rally, I decided to snap my calf muscle and go back in the medical boot and hobble around for the whole weekend at our state rally in Abudagan. And so our chapter was so kind as to gift me with a roll of bubble wrap. They didn't just give it to me, they wrapped me in it.
Oh my!
At our meeting, and so
This sounds like a group you want to join.
they're a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Oh my God!
And so they chapter voted and decided Bubbles was meant to be. I guess here I am.
So does the chapter do that for every single person who's a member?
Not every person.
Not every-
Like when you come in, you can pick your own road name.
You can.
However, if you do something that warrants a road name change that helps you
Okay.
stand out, it usually at the very next meeting, the road name change
Okay.
happens.
It happens very quickly.
So sometimes people think that things just come together too, which they don't. How long does it take to plan this? This is a major event.
It is a major event. We started thinking about it as soon as we were packing away the items from our last year's ride.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yep.
So we meet monthly as a committee,
You do,
and we get
okay.
together to make decisions. We vote on things, and we just split up the duties of reaching out to all of the different resources in the area. Everybody kind of takes a chunk and reaches out to see who's available to join us for the day. We scope out locations, we talk to owners, and get everything together, and it takes a lot of time and planning. And then we have Crash Bar here planning our route, because once we have a location established, then we have to decide how we're going to get from point A to point B to point C, and that's his job.
I get to ride the potential route lots and lots of times
Oh, I bet.
and figure out where I need my road guards and how many road guards we need,
Okay.
and then it's a lot of work.
So what's the weather been like for? You've had 3 so far.
We have our first 2 were in July,
Okay.
so hot.
Oh.
But
Yeah,
this
nice days though.
nice
Oh, nice.
days.
That's- okay.
Yeah, not overly terrible.
Okay.
But this one, just with the calendar and everything going on within the state, to be able to gain the most attendance for a ride, we chose a day that wasn't being used for other events as well. And so September.
See, you're smart.
popped-
You are so smart, because some people, when they plan an event, they think this is just good, and they don't realize that there could be 4 other golf outings going on, or this going on. And summer is packed. Let's face it, with
Yes.
with families and people and all activities. I think September is a great.
Yeah, and especially on motorcycles, we only have so many months of good riding in the year, so we have to jam pack a lot into
Okay.
those free weekends.
Yep.
So the beginning of September kind of came up, and it should be good weather. It should be a little cooler
Yes.
for any events that are we're doing outside, and hopefully everything cooperates with us.
So we only have a couple seconds left. What do you want to say? Well, how do you want to end it?
If you don't mind, am I allowed to look at the camera for this
Yes.
part? All right.
Yes.
Okay. Brothers and sisters, you are not alone. I got your 6.
Thank you. That's a perfect way to end. Thank you. And please take advantage of the information. Thank you very much for watching. I'm John Neiman. Thank you for watching the July edition of The Place to Be, Oshkosh.